Hello, welcome to Chick Chat and Chill. I am Laura Fickett, your co-host. I own Fickett Financial Education and Business Coaching, where I love to help people make more money, manage it better, retain it to build their wealth. If you feel stuck, you feel like you want more money in your life, who wants more money in their life? You do. I do free consultations. I'd love to meet with you over the phone and we can talk about the issues that you're having. We'll see how I can help. And I'm going to introduce Antoinette, our co-host.
Hi, I'm Antoinette. I'm the owner of Pixel This, which is a design firm, and we've done everything from corporate lobbies for Cadbury Schweppes to, I don't know, like a postcard. Odds are your needs are somewhere in between, and we got you covered. So today's topic is exciting for me. It's design basics. So,
Yay.
No, but it's one of those things I think a lot of people struggle. Like everybody wants a home that's interesting or inviting, and sometimes you what you're going for isn't kind of what you end up with, and people scratch their heads and they're like, why does it feel not right, or what's going on here? So I think we could just do some of those high level things. I mean, do you ever walk into a space and some spaces really scream at you like, wow, this looks like such a cool spot, and another one is just looks frumpy and you can't put your finger on it?
Oh, I can put my finger on it and all the other things that are stacked up around me as well. But I think some places give you evoke a feeling of calm, and some evoke chaos.
Yeah.
And some evoke warmth and some evoke cold. But I literally have no idea how to get any space to evoke anything but I don't know, I guess tumbleweeds and piled up papers. I'm good at that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, clutter is definitely a huge thing.
Kids.
Well, the main thing is your space needs to work for you. So definitely a lot of times people go even furniture shopping and they'll be like, oh, I love this. And they don't have the dimensions of what they need, or they're not really filling a purpose. Like, for example, I remember I was furniture shopping for it was kind of like a buffet, but I wanted something with drawers, and I fell in love with this piece that was gorgeous, but it was too big. It didn't have the storage I want, and I was like, oh, I so want to get it, but I'm like, it doesn't suit the need. Different house, different whatever.
I would have bought it.
I was so close. It was like I could put it in storage, but I think a lot of people buy things for the house they want, not the house they have. And I think you have to keep that in mind. So,
but don't you feel like if you bought that buffet that doesn't sit right and you saw it and you'd be like, oh, I love it. Every day you'd be like, oh, I love it. Now you buy one that's just because it fits right, and you're like, I settled for you.
No, well,
Other buffet was so much better. You bad buffet. And there's a whole generation of people under 30 that are like, what are they talking about a buffet? Do they actually just line up food every day at their house? No. It's something different.
Yeah.
It's something you would line up food on.
Or, you could call it anything. But I think it's one of those, that's the other thing. Don't ever settle. If it doesn't, bring joy to your life, I don't think you should buy anything, honestly. I mean, I don't mean
sitting on fold-out chairs and a card table now. I've just gone to the extremes.
Me personally, I rather wait to get something that I really love than let's just make do with something, or I don't know. That's just me. But okay, let's tackle some low-hanging fruit here. So that's one. So another thing that could make a space look cluttered, and it's not even because you have stacks and stuff, that's an issue. Put stuff away, less is more, all that stuff. But a lot of people they don't have focal points, and they just find things they like and they put it up on the walls, and the place is floor to ceiling stuff. And it could be clean as could be, but it just looks sloppy and messy because it's just visual vomit. I don't even know how to describe it. It's and you could have the opposite end where a lot of people, what they do is they put furniture down low and everything's bottom heavy and they never look up. spaces are three-dimensional, so you have to think in that way and think of walls and ceilings and, curtains or shelves or sconces. Like these are all things that, when you design just really low to the ground and not go up, your space has a tendency to look smaller. So if you start going up, it expands all of a sudden longer and more visual, and it really helps, make the space feel more, give it more volume and
But what
all the
if
way.
people don't have a ladder?
Well,
I'm just kidding. I'm just totally kidding. I'm totally messing with her right now. Like, what I want to know is like, so my mother-in-law she's so fantastic. She could be an interior designer. Like her spaces just look so gorgeous. Like she'll look at something and she'll be like, oh, I think this will be perfect. And I'm like, oh, but then when she puts it in her house, it's wonderful.
yeah.
But she buys things to me that have like no meaning, right? Like you look at certain things and you're like, oh, where did you get that? And she's like, Home Goods, like, not like, Europe.
Yeah.
Like for me, you could point to things in my house and like, where did that come from? Oh, my daughter bought that for me, or I got that when I was with my friend, or I got this here. Like
It has
everything has
Yeah.
a story. Everything has a meaning. It's colorful, like because it's all paintings that I've done all around my house. So how do you put things that you love in your house, but like make it look nice? You know what I mean? Like, how do you combine the two different designs?
Yeah.
Like, my house doesn't need to be a showroom, but I would like people to walk in and, think that it looks designed.
Yeah. Like, well, for one thing, like if there's a piece that means something to you, like again, with that, you don't want to have it like cluttered where you have all this stuff. So you could rotate pieces, if you don't always have to have the same, picture above the couch. Like you could rotate that in and out with seasons and stuff like that. But things that make a house look more cohesive is it should have a general style. I think what makes a house look disjointed, if let's say you've an ultra modern living room and then you go in your kitchen and it's like farmhouse style, and that looks really mismatched. So you want your core, you could have odd elements like, oh, here's, like I have stuff that's like a carved statue from China, but my house really has kind of a modern, mid-century modern feel to it. So that kind of extends to every room, and then you could mix and match different pieces, but you just don't want your overall furniture pieces to be all over the place, where that starts making it look really disjointed. And another thing that you could do is through color. So rather than design each room as like its own private island, think of your house as one cohesive unit, and you could come up with color palettes that you come up with a couple colors and maybe you'll focus on one in this room and throw some accents of the other. The other one might focus on a different one. One mistake that I see a lot of people doing is, they'll have a house and they're like, oh, my accent color is teal or something like that. But then they get the same shade of teal for everything. So your accent pillows, your vase, the same teal that's in your rug, which is in your chair. And then it starts looking psychotic. Like, I mean, it doesn't look rich. It doesn't look. So if you like teal as your accent color, do different, like a lighter teal, and then maybe one with a little bit more depth, like a deeper, like peacock color, like something like that, where it's still the same color, but it has depth and dimension, and it looks more expensive and not like bed in a bag. You know what I mean? Where it's just way too matchy.
Brought back memories of bed in a bag.
They've come
Your
a long
sneakers
way.
and bed in a bag. So now that you're on a little bit of color, and I know you don't want to do color, but like, what about wall color? Like, do you think that the whole house, like the common areas, should all be one color, and then people can do their bedrooms like however they want? Or do you think like, you could have your dining room one color and your kitchen another color? Or what do you think, especially for like an open concept house?
I think they need, like I said, they all need to work together. So if you're going to do like all like muted earth tone someplace, then don't do like vibrant things someplace else. It looks disjointed. So you're better off like with wall color. And this is one thing that I recommend too, like you're going to live with your, even white. You can have so many different things of white. There's cool white, there's warm white, it could look even green.
Ivory, there's so many.
There's so many. So to get those little sample paint cans or whatever, like people are like, oh, paint's cheap. Well, you want to actually put a sample up there and see what it looks like in different lights. What does it look like at sunset, and what does it look like? Every house is different, and that color is going to look different in your house versus another, and it's going to look different with your furniture or your exterior. So live with it a little bit, and then you'll find a favorite. But I'm a fan of having I'm not going to say don't like if you really like, I love color and I love using color. So I have a lot of different color palettes that I'll work in and out, but it still looks cohesive in a way, and they all work together as a family. So if you have, let's say, 5 colors, like I have, eggplant and lake blue and then a sunny yellow, and then I could also have actually put them out so they all work together so that it's easy to mix and match pieces from room to room. And then another color thing that I'm just going to recommend for the people there's those people that like those monochromatic, rooms where the trim is the same color as the walls, which is the same color. Do you ever see these?
Is the ceiling? Do they do that?
They do that.
That's crazy.
It's mainly like walls and trim. Some people go up to the ceiling, but your trim should always be different from your walls. And I'm not saying color, but at least in sheen. Because if you want to do a monochromatic thing, maybe your walls are eggshell, your trim should be maybe a semi-gloss or something like that. Like you need to have...
I feel like we're going into design intermediate and design advanced. And this is supposed to be design basic. Is there really anybody out there comment? Do you understand what she's talking about? Because I've just lost my mind. She's monochromatic and they're doing all kinds of stuff. I'm like, really, I just need what color pillows should I have? Let's get down to the basics over here.
But okay, so let's other go some.
She's going on to advanced.
Okay, so these are some biggies. So for one is the scale of the furniture. So you want furniture that fits your space. So again, measure. Okay.
She's breaking it down for us now.
And you want to have furniture that when you're going to sit in it, like your coffee table or your table, you're pulling out your chair from your table, that you at least have room to get in and move around. So I would say 12 inches minimum to 18. You don't want...
Depending on your friend's size?
Yeah, exactly. How much fast food you like. You may need 24 to 36, But you definitely want a space that functions, because even if it's a beautiful piece, it just is going to get very awkward and cumbersome, and you always get that bruise, and it doesn't look good when
break your fingers.
Yeah. Or silly stuff.
Joke.
Yeah. I've been moving and I have lots of broken fingers, but but that's a big thing. So, and also the scale furniture within each other. So a cocktail table is a huge thing. So if you have a couch, your cocktail table should be about 3/5 of the couch. If you have one that's way too small or way too big, it looks really out of place, and that's going to throw your whole room off. It could be designed beautifully. They could be beautiful pieces, your color, and it'll just look awkward.
If it's too big, get out the saw. Chop it down.
Yeah, exactly. Or, change it, raise the legs up and use it as a dining table or something.
Can you literally just go into a room or a house and use what's existing there and rearrange it to make it? You can?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What are you doing this weekend? I'm just kidding.
But I mean, there's some things even when you move, you're taking furniture that really fit your last place and you're putting in someplace new, and that's almost what you're doing. You're changing how everything goes, and sometimes pieces, some just don't work in some spaces. So it might be I had this beautiful unit that I had in my living room. Now it's in my master bedroom, and it's just a display piece for, sculptures and stuff. So a lot of times you'll just find a cool little space for it, and or sometimes you have to retire pieces for a little bit or repurpose them for something, but you could definitely sometimes just changing the pieces you have and just having them just moving where they are in the same room can make a huge difference. Yeah.
What about like, what design pieces can you use? Because here in Florida, if you guys are listening in Florida, the houses don't have a lot of storage, right? So what are some nice design pieces that people can add to their home that look nice but they also function
Yeah.
like as storage pieces?
Yeah, I'm a storage fiend because I always need space
You
for
bought
stuff.
extra bedrooms, so it's whatever.
But no, but almost any piece you get, it could be very functional and decorative, but still have storage in it. Like even as simple as your entry table. Some people just get, it's a beautiful little curved arc and there's a mirror on it, but then if you're going to put your keys and mail, it's going to look sloppy. You could get one with a little drawer, or maybe something that opens up that you could put stuff in there. And look for things that are like even laundry room. Like a lot of times you get a house and they'll use those like wire racks for the closets. If you just get a full on like
Cabinets
spend the money for cabinets in the laundry room or do a closet unit, you can fit so much more clothes and so much more things in the spaces you have without even adding furniture, or same thing with a coffee table. You could get ones that store things, as opposed to being just decorative. I'm big into like even kitchen cabinets. Like if you get stuff that slides out, those wire racks, they're cheap for builders to put in, but they're really just terrible for storing stuff. You're stuck with a limited, if you have a can on a shelf that's spaced 15 inches apart, you're losing all this stuff. So you can get things that will help you stack up or whatever. But I think a lot of people, they forget, like, you can use the height, you like, even I have these one, it's just like stackable units, but I put 10 high next to my HVAC, 2 deep. So I have 20 of those that I could just put all sorts of stuff, easy access, and then I don't have to clutter other rooms. So
Yes.
Yeah.
Good idea. I'm thinking we need a carpenter in our life or a handyman.
but even like there's so many things you could build or do a built-in. Like built-ins I think are phenomenal. Like I like Frank Lloyd Wright, which I don't know if you know.
We're going into intermediate. We're going into advanced. Bring it back.
Okay.
Bring it back to Home Goods.
No, but I'll end the thought quick. But he had homes that he would do furniture, and a lot of the spaces were small, but he did built-ins that purposely would use every square inch. So it would be a tiny room, but it had like a corner something that you could store. And a lot of people, again, if you just rearrange, there's places you can use stuff. But yeah. Okay. So
I'm sitting here feeling like, wow, you know what? When I talk to people sometimes about finances, this is probably how they feel, like potentially lost and maybe a little stupid. I had to
it's not
But
their
that's
late
why it's
go.
important to
Yeah.
surround yourself with people that have all kinds of different expertise and talents, because then you have everything. Because some of the things that she's talking about, like, I have no idea. She's going to come into my house in 2 weeks and she's going to critique it, and I'm going to cry, and then we're going to hug and get it out and be done with it.
And then this is our
I'm an
last podcast.
I'm an accountant. Design is not a skill that God gave us. It's Excel spreadsheets in black and white, sometimes red and green.
But
I'm
I'm trying to
lucky
think.
that I know that like certain colors mix and make other colors. I'm like on kindergarten design basics here. Like
I'm trying to think of an easy one.
I
Okay,
used
so
to roller skate in my house. Like I just
Okay, so this is a pretty easy one that makes a big difference.
Okay,
is
great.
Drapes. So again, a lot of people, if you don't have drapes, that's fine. But some people, the people that do hang drapes, one of the biggest problems is they hang them too low, where they should at least be like 3 to 4 inches above, where your window frame is. If you hang it low, it just kind of droops the whole room down. If you elevate them, all of a sudden your walls seem taller. Like even if you have low ceilings, it does kind of elevate the space a little bit. And that's such a big thing. And the other thing is just on the curtains aspect. You want, like when you're buying curtains, people are like, oh, it comes in a pair. Sometimes you have to get multiple pairs for your window. So if you've a window that's, let's say, 50 inches, your curtain length should be 2 to 3 times, so that when they're closed shut, they shouldn't be like one flat panel. You still want it to like billow and look like there's folds in the fabric. So for that,
I'm gonna cry.
So that so that 50-inch window, you would get anywhere from like 100 to 150 inches of drape. So that might be couple panels.
Are you listening to this, honey? You need to hang our curtain rods higher, and I need more inches.
That's a personal problem.
I deliberately set myself up for that because I knew exactly where she was going to go.
My mind always goes.
I know.
Did I tell you there's like
I have blackout curtains.
They're
functional.
There's a road sign on my way home, and every time I see it, I always think it says hookers present, but it says workers. I don't know why my mind just goes to...
She's got the windows rolled down like, hey, baby, bring that shovel.
What do I get for $5? No.
Design basics.
Okay, so let's see. One last thing with the drapes. Okay, one last drapery.
Just the drapes have to match the rug. Okay, forget it. That was the last one. That was the last one.
Okay, I think we should just we'll end on that. No. That's a good note, Ted. I'm trying to think. So, okay, lighting. Let's go to lighting.
No. Let's go to pieces in the kitchen, right?
Okay.
Let's go to like countertops.
Okay.
Right? Because some people's kitchens are designed such that they have some pieces on the countertops and other people have like tons of stuff on the countertops. And like, what do you think about like kitchen design, how to make a kitchen look nice but yet functional?
Well, I think you want to have the things they use on a daily basis out, easily accessible. So
I'm like crying over here.
Oh my God, all the stuff I use every day is in the bathroom and the stuff I never use is on my counter. No, but you want to mix things that are pretty with things that are functional. So sometimes you could get one and, the same thing in both. But, if you just like fresh flowers and you want to put that on your countertop and it makes you happy, then do that, But if, like, for example, I use a blender like multiple times a day. If I have to get that out of a cabinet over and over and over, I rather keep it on my counter. And then maybe when I have company, I'll put it away. Or I like those appliance garages, which are nice.
I've seen those.
Those are fabulous because you could have a bunch of stuff plugged in there and, and I love them so much that I've actually used them in bathrooms where I've done a similar treatment and had an appliance garage where you can have your blow dryer and curling iron and whatever plugged in and then it goes
Close
away.
the garage door.
Yeah. In like 5 seconds, you don't have to unplug it. You don't have to do anything. Things can be charging or whatever you need. And it just looks perfect.
Yeah. I need a 40-car garage in my kitchen.
But those are like fabulous ways. Or they have those, those other things that kind of pop out from the bottom of a cabinet. If you, they have the mixers, whatever. But, well, let's get back to lighting because I think this is an important thing. So There's a couple lighting problems. One is nowadays they have all these different lighting bulbs like sunlight or
my Lord,
warm white or whatever. And I don't care what color you use, although if you use that like blue light in your home, don't. Like that just, it's cold and it's uninviting. Like usually the daylight or the warm are better. That's more for like an office or a garage or like something like that. Hospital. I don't know. You look sick. No kidding. It's the light,
Or night lights. You can use those for night lights.
But whatever you choose, keep it consistent. Nothing looks worse or just terrible than if you have like a warm white with a cool and it just looks disjointed, like in the same room or same space. That should be consistent, throughout. And the other thing is you want to layer lighting. So many people just have like the overhead light and that's it, where you want to have task lighting, something you'd read a book by. Like it's not that enjoyable if you have an overhead light and you're reading a book and you want to curl up. It's just, it doesn't create a really nice, warm, comfy ambiance. And you could do so many things with lighting, like sconces. Again, that moves something up the wall, and you could have up lighting, down lighting. You could light pictures, like things like that, add dimension and depth to a room and make it look, a little bit more upscale and not so cheap as like the one bulb in the middle of the room.
I'm thinking my design theme is like, let's make people comfortable for a couple hours, but not so comfortable that they want to stay.
That's what McDonald's does. Like, honestly, they want to...
She just compared my house to McDonald's.
Or the Golden Arches, if that makes you feel
better. I never even said, like, I don't know, Arby's or Wendy's. It better be McDonald's.
I had this one friend, and it was funny. She hosted a church group. Oh my God, we're almost out of time, but this is a funny story. So she hosted a church group, but she liked going to bed early. So we would sit there and chat afterwards, and she would just like go, like all of a sudden start doing their dishes and yawning, and then she'd like, next thing you'd see her in her pajamas, like that's her hint to get out, like get out of my house. So I wanted to get her this sign that's like, I'm so glad you came, but leave by 9.
That's a good idea. There was like a candle I came across one time that smelled horrible, like, and you light it when you want the guests to leave or something.
Sorry, my gas kicks up it.
Instead of poopery, it's poop or leave.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. But
probably going to be on the market next year.
Yeah.
I just gave somebody an invention idea.
Exactly.
Spray it throughout your house, make your guests leave.
Yeah, but smell is definitely a big thing too. Like a lot of people who have animals aren't cognizant of how bad they smell.
Oh gosh, I have animals too.
Yeah.
I don't think they smell bad. I'm one of those people.
That's the whole reason how Febreze actually got started. Like it's an interesting story where they would actually do stuff that would neutralize the odors and get rid of it, and people didn't like it. Like, because they didn't think they needed it, and be like, oh, a person with like 30 cats, and they're like, what? I don't think I need it.
I don't think I need that at all.
Yeah.
I haven't cleaned the litter box in 3 weeks. It's fine.
But
yeah, smell. Like when I have company,
thing,
I try to make sure that, when they're walking in, they have, like, if it's fall, the pumpkin or the apple or whatever. If it's in the winter, it's like balsam fir. Like I try to change up the scents when people walk into the house.
Yeah, because that makes it very inviting too. If it's like,
if you want to know if your house smells like pet, then leave for like a week or something. When you come back,
you'll notice.
Then you'll notice.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Or just ask somebody that doesn't live at your house. Does my house smell? Like, be honest, and they'll tell you.
Yeah,
because I noticed that with certain pets I had, especially. One of my dogs was in kidney failure, like, and he started to smell and stuff like that.
They get that dander.
Yeah, they get that smell. But like now, my Australian Shepherd, he doesn't smell. So we have to wrap things out.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah. So our next show is just gonna be plain chick chat. We're no topic. We're just gonna.
Yeah, we had so much fun the first time.
Yeah, it was just great. We don't know where it's going to go, but we'll see. And hope you join us. And until then, never stop laughing.
And never stop learning. We'll see you soon.
Welcome to Good Vibes Nutrition, where every day is Friday. Good Vibes Nutrition was created to provide an environment of self-improvement through health, happiness, and community. Whether it's to lose weight, build muscle, gain more energy, or make friends, think of Good Vibes Nutrition as your Flagler Center hub for healthy living, personal happiness, and long-lasting relationships through the examples of kindness, encouragement, introductions, and pure love.